I was born January 15, 1963 in Prince Edward Island. I'm proud to say that I can say I'm an islander because I was born there. Even though my family doesn't come from there, I am an islander because I was born there, and I love being able to say that. I wasn't there too long, though, before my dad was stationed in Kansas City, Missouri. They had this interesting Canadian-American exchange thing going on, and so he thought, wonderful, chance to party with the Americans, and so down we went. And that was a very interesting time to be living in the United States. The Vietnam War was raging. There were all kinds of civil rights things happening, and believe it or not, even though I was very young, I had some awareness, a little bit of that, because of the television. I remember vividly seeing pictures of the Vietnam War and asking my parents, what is that? And my mom trying to explain. But there was something else that happened to me in the United States. And that was my first exposure to racism and segregation. My mother loved to play bridge and drink sherry, and they would often offer on the bases daycare. So my mother would drop me off at daycare on the base, and I had these two little friends, Stanley and Mark, and they were my real good buddies. I didn't understand why they weren't allowed to eat their snack and their lunch at my table with my other little friends, and they weren't allowed to sleep in the same little nap area. I didn't understand that, and I asked my mom one day, and she said, oh, well, I don't know, I didn't realize that was happening. Well, I imagine it's because they're black. And then she very tried very carefully to help me understand what that was, and she was adamant that, well, that's just wrong, and she was really disturbed by that. I don't think she realized that that was sort of the issue. This is in, you know, Kansas City, Missouri, very yeah, I mean, it was odd, but it never, it always really bothered me after that. And I you know, shortly around that time, though, Martin Luther King was assassinated, and I remember his funeral, seeing the pictures and my mother crying, and so I remember those things, and they obviously must have affected me because I've always had that sense about, you know, well, when things are wrong, they're really wrong, and I've always been a bit of a scrapper.